Hello and welcome to the channel. My name's Ian. Sorry it's taken me a while to get the next video out. I've been doing something with one of my other hobbies, which is amateur radio, and I'll put a little picture up now to show you what I've been working on. A little Morse code radio to take out into the wild blue yonder with me and have some fun. Anyway, back to the subject of this channel. I've finally started the Bristol Bulldog from Airfix. The documentation comes from the early 90s, but I believe the plastic goes back to around 1969. And actually, it's really quite nice. The fit is pretty good, and I'm enjoying the build. Taking it very slowly because I don't want to make a mistake on it. This was gifted to me to build by a friend, Brian, and I want to make it as good as I can make it for him. So, on with the video. So I started the Bristol Bulldog. There's very little to the actual kit, but I want to try and make it as good as I possibly can. And you start with the fuselage, and you fit the bracket here and then the seat on top of the bracket. And I've just put that on one side of the fuselage. The inside is green, but it's like an olive green. This is possibly a little bit dark because I used Mr. Finish and Surfacer 1500 black. But actually, once it's together, I think that'll be fine. It will darken down the cockpit, which would have looked dark anyway from outside. So I'm not too concerned about that. The two halves go together really, really well, actually. There's going to be very little that needs repairing on the seams, which is a good thing because there are a lot of lines here from the fabric, and the bottom wing is a really good solid fit. So that's all going to look okay, I think, once it's together. So the next thing is to get these two glued together and undercoat these. Maybe think about putting these together and then perhaps spraying both the fuselage and the wing. It's like an aluminium colour, so that's the plan at the moment. There is a section here which is a green, and so I'm going to have to mask that off and paint on top, but I'll probably just spray the whole thing and then come back to that. But I'll do that, I think, before I do anything on the tail planes or the fin. So we'll see where we go from there. So a little bit further on, this is the main fuselage and the bottom wing. I primed it with grey, and then I've used a Tamiya silver colour to finish off. I tried to use the correct Humbrol one, but didn't like going through the airbrush at all, and I wasn't going to hand paint it, so I abandoned that idea and went with the Tamiya. And I've used olive green for the top here, which seems to work pretty well, and I've managed to get that masked off well and sorted. I've also fitted these two small parts here and the supports for the bottom wing, which appear to have straightened up the wing nicely. Everything seems okay there. On top of that, I'm putting the bottom wing together. There's no real order for this. They sort of show the centre section going on and bits being added to it, and the wings being added to it at the same time. But I decided it would be a better idea to make up the wing. So they've gone together pretty well, actually. There are some discrepancies. There's a little ridge there. I'll decide just how much I want to do on tidy up on that once this is set properly. But actually it's gone together fairly well, and the seams are pretty good. A little bit of Mr. Surfacer should sort that out, I think. And I've got the other bits off and cleaned up. These were a bit of a pain to clean, especially this part. But they do go together really well. I'm really quite surprised at just how well they fit and how good they look once they're on. They're remarkably good for such a small part. They line up really, really well. Just try and get you a good view of that. So that's all good. And the tail fins and the main fin there, they're looking good. I'm quite pleased with them. They've cleaned up nicely, as has the propeller. And what I did was I just cleaned off the flash and just gently sanded, and then I've just gone over them with a little bit of Tamiya extra thin, just to take off what was left of the seam lines, and it's left them really quite nice. They're very smooth. So I'm going to have some fun with this, making this propeller look like wood, but that's half the fun, isn't it? So that'll do. I've got some oil washes coming, which hopefully will help me with that. So there we are. It's coming together slowly but surely, and it's going to make a very nice plane. The fun's going to come, I suspect, when I start to add the two wings together and do all the various other little bits and pieces that need to go on. What I may do next is actually gloss coat this bottom and put the decals on, and maybe even do that on the body before I go any further. I'll have to think about it, because there are other parts to go on here, undercarriage, etc. So yeah, I'll see about that. I think it might be awkward once once the tailplane's on and everything. It's not as easy to handle, but I'll see what I think once this is fully dry. So there we are. Progress so far. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's a really lovely little kit. It's going together really well. I'm just taking my time over what order to do things in. The instructions don't give you too much of a clue regarding that. So various thoughts on various ways of doing things. If you've got any thoughts, feel free to put them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Lots of new subscribers again. It's really quite humbling. Thank you so much, and I hope you continue to enjoy the content on the channel. I've all sorts of things coming up. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do consider doing so. It really helps the channel a lot. And obviously, if you tick that little bell, YouTube will let you know every time I release a new video. So until the next time, thanks very much for watching. Cheerio.